It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Missouri Tigers head softball coach, Larissa Anderson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get involved in college coaching on the softball side?
It wasn't something that I knew when I was in college. I went to a small private school in Erie, Pennsylvania called Gannon University. I wanted to have a degree in physical therapy, and my whole reason for being in physical therapy was to see athletes develop and overcoming injuries and coming back from injuries. So I knew it was going to be in the athletic side. I didn't think that I would have a career in coaching at that time until I moved to Long Island and started coaching at CW Post. I was doing a ton of camps and lessons and really involved in the game. And then I was real fortunate in getting an assistant job at Hofstra University, and I spent 17 years there. So it wasn't something that I grew up knowing I was going to coach. I knew I was always going to be part of the game, and it just led me down to the path that I'm here today.
What was it like getting your first coaching job, of course, at Gannon University?
I mean, it was exciting. I just loved teaching the game. I loved seeing kids improve. I was a real student of the game. I grew up in a very, very small town in Lake George, New York. So there wasn't a lot of people, and I was one of the first that went on and played collegiately out of that high school. And I just wanted to give back to the game. So being able to get paid for doing something that you love was just icing on the cake, because I knew I was just going to continue to grow the game and teach the game so that other kids had opportunities to be able to play in collegially.
What was it like going to Hofstra University to obviously become the coach there?
Hofstra is an unbelievable program. It's a private school in Long Island, New York. About 25 miles outside New York City, but it's a softball hotbed. We were the premier program in the Northeast, and we were really unique that we were able to get the best players in the Northeast. So being able to go to a mid-major school, not having the resources that a lot of Power 5 schools did, and coaching these kids up to beat Power 5 schools was just a tremendous experience. Taught our players a lot, taught me a lot about work ethic and overcoming adversity, and it doesn't matter what is the name across your chest, you put forth the best effort. But I mean, being an overachiever is something that it really, really taught me.
What was it like to have a long-lasting career there for 17 years and then the last 4 become the head coach?
It teaches you loyalty and commitment when you're invested in something. And I was extremely invested in Hofstra and the players and the staff there. I mean, some of the best relationships I've ever had. And I have currently 3 players within my program right now. 2 assistant coaches and 1 grad assistant that all came from Hofstra. And it's been a huge family. When you're invested in a program and you're invested in them as people, you commit to it and you do everything you possibly can to see everybody succeed. To me, loyalty is everything. And that's why I have the staff that I do right now. And every single one of my assistant coaches played for me because they're loyal to the game and they're loyal to this program, regardless if it's Hofstra or if it's Mizzou.
Of course, what were some of your accomplishments with Hofstra during your time?
As a team, I mean, I was there 17 years, and I think we won 15 conference championships. Again, we were a mid-major program. We won 11 straight conference championships, which is still a Division I softball record. So that in itself is pretty impressive, and I think that's going to be standing for a long time. But I think one of the most memorable experiences is Hofstra winning the NCAA regional out at UCLA in 2012 and going on to super regionals against South Florida and being one game away from the College World Series. At the time, it was unheard of for a mid-major program, especially in the Northeast, to accomplish something like that. And those are some memories that I'm really, really proud of.
Of course, during that season, what was it like being one game away from obviously the College World Series?
It puts all the hard work and all the effort and everything that you do to give it a little bit more validity. And it also gives everybody around the country hope. That was the biggest thing that came out of it. When you have, there's 47 mid-major conferences around the country. There's 5 Power 5 schools. There's 5 Group 5 schools. And you think about there's 47 mid-major conferences. It gave them all hope that they can be there one day, that everything that they're doing really is going to pan out. And it gave them a goal. It gave them a dream to be able to come to reality. And so when we were playing in super regionals, it wasn't just for us and it wasn't just for Hofstra. It was for every single mid-major school around the country.
What was it like leaving Hofstra to go to Missouri Tigers in the SEC?
It was so rewarding and gratifying, but also extremely hard. It was really hard to say goodbye to the players. It was really hard to say goodbye to Bill Edwards, who the stadium's named after, and he's a Hall of Famer, and he was the grandfather of softball at Hofstra. He was there for 25 years, and he was my head coach. So, it was very emotional, but I knew it was the best decision for me in advancing my career. There's not many times that a mid-major coach gets an opportunity to coach in the SEC, and I knew I had to take advantage of this opportunity. And I'm so glad I did. I absolutely love it at Mizzou. But it was a very emotional time to be able to say goodbye to something that you've spent so much time with.
Of course, what are some things that you have accomplished so far as the Mizzou head coach?
I think when I took over this program, there was a lot of turmoil. They had 3 head coaches in one calendar year. They were under an NCAA investigation, and the players had just been through a lot of adversity. And coming in here and keeping everybody here, I think was one of the most proud things. We didn't lose a lot of players to transfer. They just needed some direction and a little bit greater purpose. And our first year, we were preseason picked to finish last in the SEC. So 13 out of 13 teams, and we ended up finishing tied for 4th and a 7th seed in the SEC tournament, and went on to UCLA in regionals and beat UCLA, the only team that beat UCLA, as they went on to win their national championship. So being able to accomplish something like that in a very short period of time, and then this past season, finishing in a 4th seed in the SEC tournament and going on to host regionals and super regionals as an 8th seed. For us to be able to turn the program around in a very, very short period of time just shows you the work ethic that these players have and their commitment to excellence.
What are some of your future plans as the head softball coach?
Our ultimate goal is to go to the College World Series. That's what we set out to do. That's what every team in the SEC is trying to do. And once we get there, then our next goal is going to be to win a national title. So that's what we continue to focus on is winning championships. I would love to see this program win a SEC championship. I think we're very, very capable of doing so. And we just have to continue to work hard and make sure that we're bringing in the right players that give us an opportunity to do so.
Was it like obviously playing in the SEC against teams like Georgia Bulldogs, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee?
You can list everybody in the SEC. Every single weekend is a super regional weekend. It's the best conference in the country. It's the most competitive conference in the country. And you have to prepare every single weekend as though you're competing for a super regional title, because that's the level that you're playing at every weekend and week out. No one's going to give you a game. You're going to get everybody's best. So you have to prepare your team. You have to do a lot of work with scouting reports and have a lot of discipline and a lot of focus, because no one's going to give you a game. There's no easy games in this conference.
What does a typical softball game day look like?
So it really starts the week before in preparation with scouting reports and having plans going in. So educating our players on the type of pitchers we're going to see, talking to our pitchers about the type of hitters we're going to see, and then what our game plan is going to be able to beat them and what we have to do in order to be successful. But we play a 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night is usually a night game. So we will get to the ballpark early Friday morning and get some hitting in and move around so we're not sitting around all day. The kids will probably attend some classes online or get some homework done in between sessions. And then we get back to the ballpark about 2 hours before game time to get ourselves ready to go. Same plan on Saturday, and Sunday's usually an earlier game, but it's spending a lot of time and watching game film, getting to the field early and taking some swings and really executing what our game plan is. And then game day, I mean, the hay's in the barn and we just got to go out and play.
Of course, playing in the SEC, what is it like having those teams so close around you that it's not that bad of a travel for y'all?
I mean, it's tough for us. We're the most northern and western school in the SEC. So every single trip we take has to be a flight. And the locations that we travel to are small college towns. So you don't have any major airports nearby other than Georgia, and you can fly to Atlanta. So, flying to Tuscaloosa is not easy. So, we're fortunate enough that we're able to charter some trips, and we can get on a charter plane and it can take us right to those small town airports. But we have to put all of our equipment on a charter bus and it has to go ahead of time. So it's taxing. It's taxing on the students. It's taxing on the coaching staff, especially when we get back late Sunday night or sometimes real early Monday morning based on the game time. But, I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, this is why we do it, and this is what we compete for.
Of course, what does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes looking to play college softball?
It's highly, highly competitive. I mean, we're always looking for the best player we possibly can get. I want to keep the Midwest kids home. So we look at Missouri first, and we want to see if there's anybody that can play at our level in our state, which they can. Missouri has some very, very talented travel ball teams and talented players. So we want to keep the best kids home. And then we brought in throughout the Midwest. And if there's kids on either side of the coast that really want to be a Missouri Tiger, then by all means. But, we don't try to convince someone to come here. We want it to be the right fit. We want this to be their home. We want them to be committed and loyal to this program so that they stay here for 4 years. I'm not looking for a quick fix. I'm not looking to go into the portal to try to run kids out of here. I want kids that really want to be here and bleed black and gold.
What does the official visit look like on the softball side for Missouri?
It's twofold. There are kids that are in their junior class that will come in for an official visit, but mostly our official visits are kids that are already committed. They come here unofficially a number of times. They go through the same process that they would on an official visit, where they come on campus, they obviously meet the coaching staffs, they see all the facilities that they would utilize as a student athlete. They'll meet with academic advisement. They'll meet with our Mizzou Made, which is our career development program. They meet with sports performance, mental performance. And then we take them on a full campus tour. So we hop on a golf cart and we drive around campus, and they see all the things that they would be interacting with as a student athlete here. They spend a lot of time because I want them to leave campus knowing exactly what it means to be a Missouri Tiger, and that we're not going to show them all the bells and whistles because they need to know exactly what they're looking for and what they want. We don't put a ton of pressure on them. We want it to be more of an educational experience. And we encourage them to visit other schools because when they decide that they want to come to Missouri, they truly know in their heart and they're not making the decisions for the wrong reasons.
What is it like, obviously, having those recruits see the uniforms, the black and gold uniforms, and see if, obviously, the Missouri Tigers are where they fit best?
I think it's one of the best things to see when they get out of the locker room with wearing the uniform that our players wear, the smile on their face and how proud they are to put that uniform on. It's an experience that every kid dreams of. So you can tell right away that when they put that on and they're glowing, that they know what it really means to be a Missouri Tiger.
Of course, with this previous year and COVID and stuff, what are some things that you look forward to in this upcoming season?
It's continue to play ball, to play freely, to hopefully not have a lot of restrictions that put some parameters on our kids. Hopefully they have the freedom of not having to wear masks when we travel, and just take that stress away. I mean, they've had it tough for 2 years, and fortunately we are in in-person classes here at Mizzou, so they're getting a little bit more normalcy. So I just want to continue to give them the opportunities, because you think about these freshmen, the last time they experienced a real life was they were sophomores in high school. Our seniors were freshmen in college. So it's been a long time since they've had any normalcy. So I just want to continue to make it as normal as possible for them.
What advice would you give high school softball players looking to play college softball?
Visit as many schools as possible, travel around campuses. When you're traveling around the country playing travel ball, just drive through the campuses to get a feel for what you're like. But you want to recruit a school as much as that school's recruiting you. Do your homework, do your research about the coaches and the players and what you're looking for. Figure out what level you want to play at and what level you're capable of playing at, because sometimes they don't match up. You might have all the talent in the world and you don't want to play at a high level, and that's okay. You also don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're trying to reach a level that your talent doesn't allow you to play at. So it's finding the right fit and getting a good evaluation from someone that you trust, that you have an idea of what level you can and want to play at.
Of course, what advice would you give college softball players that are playing in the SEC or obviously in softball in general?
Advice is just continue to give back to the game. The game has given you so much, and you want to have pride and treat the game with respect, and that's playing hard and it's playing it for the right reasons. The game doesn't owe you anything. You owe the game everything, and it's giving you opportunities to learn lifetime lessons that you're not going to learn in a classroom. You're not going to learn in a book. You're going to learn about how to be a great teammate and how to overcome adversity, about your work ethic, about your drive, about your grit. So it's those things that the game's teaching you. You got to respect the game because of what it's taught you.
What advice would you give softball coaches looking to get into the industry?
Pay your dues, network, get out there, work camps. So that way other coaches can see how you work and how you teach. And it's also going to teach you at the same time. But softball is a very, very small world, and it's a network. It's a network of people. And if you want to be in this profession, then you got to work at it. So you got to get out there and meet coaches and go to the national convention and go to clinics and make yourself the best that you possibly can be and give back to those kids. And there's no other way to do that than getting out of your office and going to do it.
What advice would you give first-time head coaches looking to get their first job as a head coach of softball, or coaches in general coaching in softball?
My advice to head coaches is you don't know it all. You can't do it all. You can't try to do it all. So you have to surround yourself with a great staff that can take care of your weaknesses. So if you're really, really strong in infield, find someone who fills up what you're not strong with. If you're really strong in the computer, find someone that isn't. So they're adding something to the game and to your skill set that you're not very strong at. But you want to make sure that you're finding great people to surround yourself with, someone that has the same work ethic that you do, that can carry out the same missions that you want to carry out within your program.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Mizzou Tigers?
So my Twitter handle is Coach Larissa A. So you can follow me on Twitter. I put out a lot of educational material and quotes. I also have an Instagram, Facebook for those of you that are in Facebook. But the biggest thing, all those are on the mutigers.com. That's our athletic website from Missouri, and all the links are provided there.
Thank you again for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Missouri Tigers.
Thank you so much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Larissa Anderson, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thanks.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.